It started as a whisper in the night sky. Strange signals moved across the stars, faint at first, then growing louder. Scientists in observatories all over Earth caught the patterns. At first, they thought it was random noise, but soon they realized it was something far more serious. The signals were not natural. They carried order, rhythm, and meaning. Someone or something was speaking. In the control rooms of satellites, in underground bases, in universities filled with blinking machines, people worked without sleep. They decoded the strange pulses, line after line of alien language. The more they studied, the more their faces turned pale, because hidden inside the signals was a message. Not a greeting, not a warning. It was a single sentence. We declare war. When the words were finally confirmed, fear spread like fire. The news reached governments first, and then, within hours, the whole world knew. Screens across cities flashed with the breaking headline, "Aliens declare war on humanity." People screamed in the streets. Crowds ran into markets, collecting food, water, anything they could carry. Some locked their doors, whispering prayers. Others looked up at the night sky, wondering if death would fall from above at any moment. The panic was natural. Humanity had always dreamed of alien contact, but they dreamed of peace, of friendship, of shared knowledge. No one was ready for this. No one expected the first clear words from another world to be a declaration of war, or at least, almost no one. While ordinary people wept and panicked far away in hidden bases and military camps, the reaction was different. The soldiers listened to the decoded message in silence. The room was heavy with tension. Then something strange happened. A few of them smiled. Their commanders looked at them, confused. "Do you understand what this means?" "They want war. They are coming for us." But the soldiers only exchanged glances, and one of them chuckled softly. "To them this is war," he said. "To us, this is training," the commander frowned. He thought it was bravado, nervous laughter before fear set in. But the soldiers were serious. Their eyes did not carry terror but excitement, like athletes before a great game or hunters before a dangerous chase. Why? Why would anyone see a galactic war as training? The answer was hidden deep in human history. For thousands of years, humanity had been fighting against nature, against monsters, against each other. Every century was marked by war, conflict, and survival. Other species in the galaxy lived in peace for millennia, safe under their suns. But humanity? Humanity grew strong because of struggle. Every soldier in that room knew the truth. War was nothing new. It was the oldest thing humans knew. And if these aliens thought they were bringing something new, they were wrong. Governments across the world prepared for disaster. Emergency broadcasts filled the air. Leaders stood on podiums warning people to stay calm. Satellites tracked strange movements near the edge of the solar system. Something big was coming, an alien fleet, maybe hundreds of ships, maybe thousands. People trembled. Families gathered together, holding hands, waiting for the end. The air felt heavy, like a storm before lightning. But inside military training grounds, the mood was different. Human soldiers cleaned their weapons, adjusted their armor, and stood ready. Their training drills continued as if nothing had changed. Some even joked about it, saying, "Finally something real to fight." The aliens believed they would crush humanity in days. Their message carried arrogance, as if the war was already won before it began. They saw humans as weak, a young species still crawling out of its cradle. But the soldiers who heard that message remembered every scar on Earth's history. They remembered the wars, the battles, the endless struggle of survival. One soldier looked at the sky and whispered, "You think you bring us fear. You are wrong. You bring us purpose." In the days that followed, the signals continued. The alien words became sharper, more detailed. Lists of demands, promises of destruction. The message was clear: surrender or be erased. But humanity did not surrender. Instead, they prepared. The streets of cities grew darker. Air raid sirens were tested. Underground bunkers opened. Families were told where to hide. And yet in the shadows, soldiers sharpened their blades, loaded their guns, and laughed quietly among themselves. This was not the end. This was the beginning. To the world, the aliens had brought war, but to the humans who stood ready, it was something else. It was training, and soon the galaxy would learn what that truly meant. The sky was no longer silent. At first, the alien ships were only dots on distant telescopes, cold, sharp shapes moving at impossible speeds. But then, the first fleet arrived in orbit. Thousands of people looked up that night and saw strange lights burning across the darkness. They were not stars. They were warships. The aliens had come. Across Earth, fear spread again. News broadcasts screamed about the first strike. People filled the streets, watching the glowing shapes above. Some prayed. Some cried. Others simply froze, unable to believe the end had truly arrived. But inside secret bases, soldiers stood ready. No panic, no trembling hands, only calm eyes and steady breaths. One commander looked at his men and women. "They believe they will crush us in one night," he said. A soldier grinned back. "Then let's make it a long night." The first alien attack came quickly. A single ship broke from the fleet, releasing beams of white fire that struck a coastal city. Buildings fell like paper. Explosions lit the night. Millions screamed. The aliens expected surrender. Instead, they found silence. The city burned, but no white flags rose. The soldiers only moved faster, hidden deep underground, missile systems activated. Giant metal doors opened in deserts, mountains, and forests. From beneath the Earth's surface, human weapons launched upward, hundreds of missiles racing into the sky. The alien ship, huge and confident, tried to shield itself. But the missiles struck one after another. The night sky bloomed with fire. For the first time, alien metal cracked. For the first time, the galaxy's great invaders felt the sting of human resistance. From orbit, alien commanders watched in silence. "These humans do not run," one of them hissed. "They fight." The second wave of alien ships moved. They fired again, tearing through human defenses, destroying bases and fleets. Humans lost men and women every hour. The Earth shook with destruction, but still, there was no surrender. In a dark bunker, a young soldier wiped blood from his face. Dust fell from the ceiling after another blast hit above. His radio crackled with desperate voices. "We're falling back! They're too strong! We need orders!" The soldier only laughed. "This isn't war," he whispered. "This is practice." Human generals had planned for this moment. They knew they could not win the first battles. They did not need to. They only needed to learn. Every destroyed base, every fallen city, every lost battle was data. Data that humans turned into strategy. Aliens fought with technology. Their ships were powerful, their weapons deadly. But humans fought with something else: adaptation. Within hours, human pilots were adjusting flight patterns, using tricks no alien computer expected. Infantry changed their formations, learning how to dodge alien weapons. Engineers pulled apart wreckage and built new weapons from the scraps. The more the aliens fought, the sharper humanity became. By the second day of battle, alien commanders noticed the change. At first, humans fought clumsy, desperate like prey, but now they moved like predators. One alien officer growled in frustration. "They are not supposed to learn this quickly." No species adapts this fast, but humans did. It was their nature. The battles grew bloodier. Cities fell, oceans burned, and skies filled with smoke. Yet everywhere the aliens struck, humans rose again. Soldiers crawled from rubble with rifles still in their hands. Pilots flew broken jets held together with wires and tape. Civilians, untrained and afraid, joined the fight with whatever weapons they could find. And slowly, to the horror of the aliens, the humans stopped fighting like victims. They began fighting like hunters. In one ruined city, a squad of alien soldiers advanced through streets of ash. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the shadows. "You think this is war?" Gunfire exploded. Humans rose from broken buildings, from tunnels beneath the ground, from every shadow. The aliens tried to fight back, but within minutes, they were gone. The human squad leader stepped over the fallen aliens and spoke coldly. "This is not war. This is training, and we are only warming up." Back in orbit, the alien commanders stared at their screens. Ship after ship reported unexpected human resistance. Their databases could not explain it. "This species is unstable," one commander hissed. "They are reckless, chaotic, impossible to predict. Another voice whispered the truth no one wanted to say. If this is how they fight during training, what happens when they fight for real? The first contact battle had begun. The aliens expected a simple victory, an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened something ancient, something terrifying, humanity's hunger for survival, for adaptation, for growth. And as the fires burned across Earth, one thing became clear. The war would not end quickly, because every alien attack only made humanity stronger. The first battles left the Earth scarred. Cities smoked, skies turned black with ash, oceans boiled under falling wreckage. To the aliens, this was victory. To them, every world they invaded ended the same way. Fast, easy, complete. But Earth was different. Even as flames rose, even as thousands died, humanity did not break. The aliens saw fear in the civilians, yes, but not in the soldiers. They saw something else, something they could not understand. In hidden bases deep underground, soldiers treated the battles like lessons. They replayed combat footage, studied alien movements, and laughed at their own mistakes. "Too slow," one soldier said, pointing at himself on a screen. "Next time, I'll be faster." Another shrugged off a wound on his arm. "This isn't bad." Training drills were harder. Alien spies hidden in orbit intercepted these conversations. They watched recordings of humans fighting with broken weapons, bleeding but smiling. The reports they sent back to their commanders were full of confusion. "These humans fight as if the war is a game," one alien officer wrote. "They adapt with every strike. Their pain does not weaken them, it sharpens them." The commanders dismissed the warnings. "All prey struggles before death," they said. It changes nothing. But the warnings kept coming. In the ruins of one city, an alien squad captured a wounded human soldier. His uniform was torn, his face bloodied, but his eyes still burned. The aliens dragged him into a holding cell and demanded answers. "Why do your people resist?" one alien asked. "You cannot win." The soldier looked up and smirked. "Win? Who said we're trying to win right now?" The aliens tilted their heads in confusion. "This is war," the human laughed, even with blood on his lips. "No, this is training. Real war hasn't started yet." The aliens stared in silence. For the first time, doubt entered their minds. As the battles continued, humans began to change faster. Engineers pulled apart alien wreckage, building strange weapons out of broken parts. Scientists studied energy blasts and created shields that lasted seconds longer with every test. Pilots who survived crashes returned to the sky with new tricks, flying in patterns no alien computer could predict. Each defeat became a step forward. Each loss became a lesson. The aliens grew nervous. Their enemy was not shrinking. It was growing. In orbit, one alien commander paced across the bridge of his warship. "These humans are unstable. They should have fallen by now." Another officer replied, "Perhaps they are simple-minded. They repeat the same mistakes." "No," the commander growled. "They are learning. Every day, every hour, they are becoming stronger." If this continues, he stopped himself. He did not want to finish the thought. Back on Earth, human soldiers spoke with fire in their voices. One sergeant stood before his squad in a ruined warehouse. "Look around you," he said. "We've lost homes, friends, and families, but every loss has made us sharper. The aliens think they are teaching us fear, but they are teaching us how to beat them." The squad roared in response. The sound carried through the ruins like thunder. The aliens noticed something else, something even stranger. Humans laughed in battle. Not all, but enough to make alien soldiers uneasy. They laughed when bombs exploded too close. They laughed when weapons jammed and they had to fight with their fists. They laughed when the odds were impossible. To the aliens, it was madness. To humans, it was survival. Because in every war, laughter had always walked beside death. One alien soldier reported back after a failed skirmish. His claws trembled as he spoke to his commander. "They are monsters. They bleed and keep moving. They burn and still fight. And worst of all, they enjoy it." The commander silenced him with anger, but in his heart, he felt the same fear. By the third week of fighting, the galaxy was watching. Alien allies, once certain of victory, began to question the war. The humans had lost cities, yes. They had lost millions, yes, but they had not surrendered. Instead, they had turned pain into strength. The whispers began. What kind of species grows stronger during war? What if humans are not prey but predators? And still, the soldiers on Earth smiled. They were tired. They were broken. But they stood tall. One general looked at the stars and said, "They brought us war, and they think this is the end. But we know the truth. This is only training. When we finish training, the galaxy will see what real war looks like." Weeks had passed since the first alien strike. Earth was scarred, cities burned, oceans filled with wreckage, skies thick with smoke. The aliens thought victory was near. They believed humanity would soon collapse under the weight of destruction. But they were wrong. Something was happening on Earth, something the aliens had not planned. Every destroyed city became a classroom. Every lost battle became a lesson. Humanity was not breaking. Humanity was learning. In underground labs, scientists worked without rest. They studied alien metal, broken weapons, and fragments of shields. At first, they barely understood them, but humans were fast learners. Within days, they built crude copies. Within weeks, they built something new, human weapons with alien power. Soldiers tested them on training grounds, grinning as the weapons roared to life. "They think they're the only ones who can adapt," one soldier said. "They'll find out soon enough." In the skies, human pilots fought differently. At the start of the war, they flew straight, predictable, easy targets for alien gunners. But now they twisted and turned in patterns no computer could track. They flew low through canyons, skimmed the sea, used the very planet as their shield. Alien commanders grew angry. Why do their machines not break? Why do their pilots not fear death? The truth was simple. Humans had always trained for impossible fights. On the ground, things changed even faster. Infantry squads who once scattered under alien fire now moved like shadows. They struck fast, vanished, then struck again. Guerrilla tactics, an old human art, returned stronger than ever. Aliens marched into cities expecting easy victory, only to be ambushed at every corner. Explosives hidden under rubble. Snipers waiting in broken towers. Civilians working side by side with soldiers. The invaders could not tell who was a fighter and who was not. Because on Earth, in this war, everyone was a fighter. Alien officers sent panicked reports back to their leaders. These humans learn too quickly. They fight differently every day. They are turning every loss into strength. But their leaders refused to believe it. "They are weak," they said. "They are animals. Crush them." And yet, the reports did not stop. In one mountain base, a human general stood before his soldiers. The room was dark, lit only by a single lamp. His voice was steady but fierce. "They think we are finished. They think they have already won. But look at them now. They are the ones afraid. Afraid because every hour we grow stronger." He raised his fist. "This is not war. This is training. And training is almost over." The soldiers cheered, their voices echoing through the tunnels like thunder. On the battlefield, the change became clear. For the first time, alien patrols began to fall back. Their ships, once fearless, now hesitated before entering human skies. Their soldiers looked over their shoulders, unsure if humans were hiding in the shadows. The hunters had become the hunted. One alien squad advanced through a ruined city. Their leader barked orders, demanding silence. But then, strange sounds echoed through the smoke. Human laughter. The aliens froze. It was not the laugh of joy. It was the laugh of predators. Gunfire erupted. Explosions tore through the street. Humans swarmed from tunnels and rooftops, striking from every angle. Within minutes, the alien squad was gone. The last alien alive gasped into his comms before falling. "They are not prey. They are predators." From orbit, alien commanders argued. "They cannot continue like this. They should be broken. Then why do they grow stronger each day? They should have surrendered. Why do they not fear us?" No one had an answer. The galaxy had always believed humans were fragile, young, unprepared. But now the truth was spreading. Humans were something far worse. For their enemies, they were learners. They were adapters. And once they learned enough, they would win. By the end of the 4th week, the aliens began to realize something terrifying. They had come to conquer Earth. Instead, They had trained it. In a dark war room, a human scientist placed a new weapon on the table, half human, half alien. It hummed with energy. He looked at the generals and said, "We're ready to strike back." The generals nodded. The tide of war was about to turn. The galaxy had always believed fear was a weapon. For centuries, the alien empire used it to control worlds. Entire planets surrendered before a single shot was fired. Fear alone was enough to win wars. But on Earth, fear was breaking, and it was breaking in the wrong direction. At first, the aliens thought humans feared them. Civilians screamed when the ships filled the skies. Families hid underground. Cities burned. It looked like fear, but then the battles continued. Soldiers did not stop. Civilians picked up weapons. And slowly, the aliens noticed something impossible. Humans were no longer afraid. Instead, they were. Reports spread through the fleets. Patrols vanished without a trace. Scouts landed on Earth and never returned. Entire squads went silent, their last transmissions filled with static and gunfire. The alien commanders tried to explain it away. Malfunction, bad luck, small resistance. But whispers began to move through the ranks. Whispers of hunters hiding in the smoke. Whispers of humans who laughed in battle. Whispers of prey that fought like predators. On one warship, an alien soldier sat in silence, his claws trembling. He had just returned from Earth after a brutal skirmish. His armor was cracked and his mind was worse. His commander demanded a report. "Speak, what did you see?" The soldier swallowed hard. "They bleed, but they don't stop. We burned their city, but they came back from the rubble. They charged at us with broken weapons, even bare hands. They should have run, but they attacked us instead," the commander growled. "You were trained to fight. Do not be shaken by savages." But the soldiers' eyes widened. "They smiled, Commander. Even when dying, they smiled. What kind of enemy smiles in death?" The commander said nothing. For the first time, even he felt uneasy. As the war dragged on, more alien officers reported the same. "These humans adapt too quickly. They do not fear death. They seem to enjoy the fight." The word monsters began to spread. Monsters, not prey. Meanwhile, in human strongholds, soldiers prepared for the next battles with calm determination. They no longer spoke of survival. They spoke of victory. One general gave a speech to his troops. His voice carried through underground bunkers filled with soldiers sharpening blades and loading rifles. Aliens believed they brought us war, but they brought us something else. They brought us training. And every second they fight us, we grow stronger. Look into their eyes next time you meet them. Look carefully. You will see it. You will see fear. The soldiers cheered, their voices rising like thunder, and the general was right. On the battlefield, alien soldiers hesitated now. Their strikes were slower, their formations weaker. They flinched at shadows, fired at ghosts. Humans noticed, and humans exploited it. One night, an alien patrol entered a ruined city. Smoke curled between the broken towers. The air was silent, too silent. Then came the sound. A laugh. The aliens froze, weapons ready. The laugh echoed again, closer this time. Then the gunfire began. Explosions shook the ground. Shadows darted from every direction. Humans attacked like wolves, surrounding their prey. The aliens fought back desperately, but panic had already set in. They broke formation, they fled, and they were cut down one by one. The last survivor tried to escape, stumbling through the rubble, screaming into his comms. "They are everywhere! They are demons! The line went dead. In orbit, the alien high command studied the growing reports. Their voices, once proud, now carried cracks of doubt. These humans, they were supposed to fall. They were supposed to break. They were supposed to fear us. Instead, the aliens themselves were the ones who could no longer sleep without nightmares. On one warship, a commander stared out at the blue planet below. He clenched his claws tightly, whispering words no alien leader had ever spoken before. "We may have made a mistake." The galaxy had always called humans weak. But now even the most powerful empire in the stars began to wonder, what if humans were not weak at all? What if they were the very monsters the galaxy feared? The alien empire had studied thousands of species. They thought they understood war better than anyone. But humans, Humans were different. The invaders had expected weakness. Instead, they found something far worse: patience. Humans had been holding back. In a dark underground bunker, General Marcus stood before rows of soldiers. Their armor was scratched, their weapons worn, but their eyes burned with fire. The general's voice was calm, almost too calm for a man at war. Aliens believe they are fighting us, but they are wrong. The soldiers listened in silence, every word cutting through the thick air. "This is not war," Marcus said. "This is practice. And when practice ends—" He paused, letting the silence stretch. "Real war begins." The soldiers didn't cheer this time. They only nodded, eyes steady, jaws clenched. It was not excitement, it was focus. Above Earth, alien commanders listened to human transmissions. They caught fragments of speeches, fragments of laughter from the battlefield, and fragments of something far more terrifying: discipline. "Why do they speak of practice?" one alien asked. Another growled, "It is a trick." It must be a trick, but deep inside, even the commanders felt doubt. If this was only practice, then what would happen when humans became serious? On the battlefield, the answer began to show. Human forces moved differently now. No more scattered defenses. No more desperate retreats. Instead, they advanced with precision, striking like blades. An alien squad landed near a ruined city, expecting chaos. Instead, they found silence. Too late, they realized they had walked into a trap. The ground shook as explosives erupted. Shadows moved through the smoke. Soldiers attacked with perfect timing, covering each other, pushing forward without hesitation. One alien screamed into his comms, "They fight like machines!" "No, worse. They fight like predators!" And then the line went silent. In orbit, alien commanders studied the reports with growing horror. Humans were learning faster than any simulation predicted. Every battle only sharpened them. Every defeat only made them more dangerous. "They should be broken," one alien whispered. Another shook his head. "No, they are evolving." Back on Earth, General Marcus looked over the battlefield map. Red markers showed enemy positions. Blue markers showed his troops. But what mattered most was the pattern. He smiled faintly. "They think they are still in control. They are wrong." A young soldier stepped forward, nervous but curious. "Sir, why do we call this training? This feels like war." The general turned to him, eyes sharp. "Because training is where you prepare. Training is where you test yourself. Training is where you grow stronger. War?" He placed a heavy hand on the soldier's shoulder. "War is when you stop holding back." The soldier nodded, understanding now. That night, alien fleets prepared for another assault. Thousands of ships aligned, their weapons glowing. They wanted to crush Earth once and for all, but as their ships descended, they saw something unexpected. Human fleets rose to meet them. Not small, not weak, but organized, stronger than before. The humans had built new ships, using alien technology captured from battles. Weapons glowed brighter, faster, deadlier. The alien commander stared at the screen, his voice trembling. "This is impossible. They build faster than we destroy." And yet, it was real. The two sides clashed in orbit. Explosions lit the sky. But for the first time, humans did not just defend. They attacked. Alien ships fell, one after another, ambushed with tactics no alien had ever seen. Humans fought like they had been born for this. And maybe they had. In the chaos, an alien officer whispered to himself, his voice breaking. "They are not fighting for survival anymore. They are fighting for mastery," he finally understood. Humans didn't treat war as destruction. They treated it as evolution. Far below, in the ashes of a ruined city, soldiers raised their weapons to the sky. They were no longer afraid of alien power. They were ready for what came next, and in every alien heart, a new kind of fear spread. Not fear of death. Not fear of defeat, but fear of the truth. Humanity had not even started fighting yet. The war had reached its breaking point. For months, the aliens had rained fire upon Earth. Cities had fallen, millions had died, and yet humanity still stood. The invaders thought they had seen humanity's limits, but they were wrong. They had only seen the warm-up. In the command center of a hidden base, General Marcus watched as the last alien fleet prepared for a massive strike. Thousands of ships floated in orbit, dark shapes against the stars. One of his officers spoke nervously. "Sir, they are bringing everything. If we lose this one, it's over. Marcus's voice was calm, steady. No, if they lose this one, it's over. He turned to his soldiers and gave a final order. Today, training ends. Today, we fight for real. For the first time in the war, humanity went on the offensive. From the oceans, massive submarines rose, carrying missile platforms that launched into the skies. From hidden deserts, silos opened, firing weapons the aliens had never seen. And from Earth's orbit, new human warships, built from captured alien technology, unleashed a storm of fire. The sky lit up like the end of the world. Aliens had come to conquer. Instead, they found themselves under attack. Human fleets didn't just fight. They hunted. Every alien weakness was exploited. Every past defeat had been studied, turned into a lesson, turned into a weapon. An alien commander roared across the comms, "Hold formation! Do not break!" But his soldiers were already panicking. Ships scattered. Discipline crumbled. And into that chaos, humans struck like wolves among sheep. On the ground, human troops launched a coordinated counterattack. Cities once thought lost came alive with resistance fighters. Snipers shot from ruined towers. Drones swarmed alien tanks. Explosives ripped through enemy lines. Aliens tried to push forward, but every street became a trap, every shadow a weapon. And everywhere the humans advanced with one terrifying truth in their eyes: this was no longer practice. This was war. In orbit, the largest alien battleship faced a sudden assault. Human ships surrounded it, attacking with precision strikes. The alien commander on board shouted desperately, "This cannot be happening! They were weak! They were prey!" A human voice cut through the comms, cold and sharp. Prey does not hunt the predator. Before the alien could respond, the battleship exploded, torn apart by human firepower. Fear spread like wildfire through the alien ranks. The Empire had never been defeated before, never broken. But here, against humans, they were collapsing. One alien soldier whispered as he fled his post, "They were not fighting us before. Now they are." General Marcus stood in the command center, watching the red dots of alien ships vanish one after another from the map. His face was calm, but inside, he felt the weight of history shifting. He spoke softly, almost to himself. They wanted war. Now they have it. The final battle lasted hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. By the time the smoke cleared, Earth still burned, but humanity stood victorious. Alien fleets were shattered. Their commanders were dead or fleeing. Their empire, for the first time in its long history, had tasted defeat. As survivors escaped into the stars, one alien commander recorded a final, broken message: "Do not return to Earth. Do not face them again. Humans are not prey. Humans are the storm." Back on Earth, soldiers walked through the ruins, exhausted but alive. They did not cheer. They did not celebrate, because they all understood one thing. This was only the beginning. The war was over. The skies above Earth were quiet again. Alien ships, once proud and countless, now floated as wreckage among the stars. For the first time since the invasion began, silence covered the planet. But it was not peace. It was something else, something far more dangerous. In a ruined city, soldiers walked among the ashes. Their armor was scorched, their weapons nearly broken, but their eyes were steady. They did not celebrate. There were no cheers of victory, because deep inside, they knew the truth. This war was never the final battle. It was only the beginning. High in orbit, on the bridge of a captured alien warship, General Marcus stood with his officers. Through the shattered glass of the viewing deck, Earth glowed below, scarred but alive. One officer broke the silence. "Sir, we did it." "We won." Marcus shook his head slowly. "No, they lost." "There's a difference," the officer frowned. "What do you mean?" The general's voice was quiet but sharp. "We treated this war as training. And now, training is complete." Far away, deep in alien space, the Empire reeled from defeat. Worlds that once believed in their invincibility now whispered in fear. In council chambers, alien leaders argued. They were supposed to fall. they were supposed to break. Instead, reports told a different story. Humans had grown stronger in every battle. Humans had adapted faster than anyone thought possible. And worst of all, humans were coming. One alien scholar, old and trembling, spoke what others feared to admit. We thought they were weak, but weakness was only the mask. Their true nature is war itself. The council fell silent. None dared to answer. Back on Earth, soldiers gathered in underground bunkers. Generals spoke quietly to them. The aliens will return, one said. They will gather more fleets, more weapons, more allies. But now they fear us. They know what we are. A soldier raised his hand. Sir, what are we? The general's eyes burned as he answered. We are humanity, and war is the fire that forges us. As the days passed, human engineers worked day and night. Alien wreckage was taken apart, studied, rebuilt. New ships were already being designed. Stronger weapons, faster engines, harder armor. This time, humanity was not preparing to defend. This time, they were preparing to launch. In the ruins of New York, a boy looked at the sky with his father. "Dad," he whispered, "are they gone forever?" The father looked up at the stars. His voice was calm but heavy. "No, son. They will come again. Then, what will we do?" The father's answer was simple. "We'll take the fight to them first." And so the great twist revealed itself. The aliens had not broken humanity. They had awakened it. They had turned a sleeping giant into a warrior. The Empire thought they had declared war. But in truth, they had trained their worst enemy. Years later, across distant galaxies, alien scouts would tell stories of what happened next. Of human fleets leaving Earth, stronger and more united than ever. Of worlds once ruled by the Empire falling, not to fear, but to human fire. Of a new name whispered in the dark, the Warborn. General Marcus stood once more before his people as the first human fleet prepared to leave Earth's orbit. The soldiers were silent, their faces hard, their weapons ready. His final words were simple. They brought us war, but war was never their gift to give. It has always been ours, and now we return it. The engines roared. The ships lifted. Humanity's future had changed forever. The galaxy would never forget the lesson. Humans do not fear war. Humans become war.